first stage is not as hard as the second. If you only want to watch the second, you can use the time markers. But basically in this stage, the Rampage Cats enemies spawn. They're extremely weak. They only do 1250 damage, but they do have 500 range, which outranges the majority of your units at this point in the game. So I recommend bringing either Whale or Titan, so they can tank through that very low damage to get through that high range. Bahamut's pretty good here for just kind of nuking them a bit, and again, he does get outranged by the Rampage Cats, but it's not a big deal. He'll still get a couple of hits in before he dies. And if you have Awakened Bahamut, he can easily destroy these Rampage Cats. I just brought Evolved for him in case you don't have him to show it's pretty easy, even without Awakened Bahamut. And another big thing in this stage is the massive amount of peon spam. As you can see, there's just weak little enemies being barfed out of the base every single second. The clock is ticking. The most notable threats, though, are Metal Doge and Dark Otter. Dark Otter actually has decent damage, and Metal Doge has decent health thanks to his metal body, meaning he takes 20 hits to kill, no matter how much damage an attacker does, unless it can do crit attacks. Because of the peon spam, I recommend bringing area attackers and also Crazed Legs for his wave. And that's about it. Just, make sure you can deal with the peon spam, make sure you have enough damage to kill the Dark Otters as well as the Rampage Cats, and you should be fine. Alright, now, the Insane version is actually kind of difficult. The biggest thing here is, well, at the beginning, you want to stall for money because a singular Rampage Cat spawns, and as we said earlier, very weak, 1250 damage, about 946 DPS, so you can just send singular Eraser Cats out occasionally, and they can perfectly stall this guy without any problem. No other enemies spawn until base hit, so I use this time to stack Hacker Cats, or in normal form, I believe he is called Geek Cat. This cat is pretty bad up until like mid-game, and this is a mid-game stage kinda. So he's just level 30. He's a really long-range unit with LD. So basically just stack an attacker with over 500 range here. It could be an Uber, it could be Li'l Nyandam, it could be anything you have, but you want an attacker with over 500 range to stack here, because when the base gets hit, a couple more Rampage Cats will spawn, and then they'll start spawning limitlessly as the stage goes on, I believe. There will be a bunch of Rampage Cats, so you want to be able to deal with them with an attacker that can outrange them, because even though each individual Rampage has very low damage and DPS, when they start forming a massive stack and have support from a bunch of Black Gories and Rainy Ds, they're an actual threat and they help push a lot. So I personally stacked like 3 Hacker Cats. You can stack more, you can stack less. You can probably go with 2, but I got 3 just to be safe. And again, on base hit, a squad of Black Gories and a spawn of Rainy D spawns, along with a couple Rampage Cats, and more of every enemy will continue spawning for the next 2 minutes or so. And then after that, they'll be less frequent, I would say, just kind of every minute or so. So bring your area attackers again, Crazed Legs, good wave chip damage DPS on the backliner Rampage Cats, and your Hacker Cats or Li'l Nyandam or any over 500 range unit are mandatory here to kill all of these Rampage Cats, because otherwise all your units except Titan won't be able to reach them. I brought Awakened Bahamut. He's not necessary, but he is helpful. If the enemies push too quick up to your base, you can deploy a Bahamut to deal tons of damage to the Gories and kill them, or Rainy Ds and kill them. And he can also get a couple hits in on the Rampage Cats sometimes, though they spam attacks so much he may get knocked back over and over and juggled and then just die. But as long as you do the stacking strategy and you get max cash before you hit the base, you should be okay. I recommend 5 meat shields just because of the frequency of the enemy spawning, and there's just a ton of them swarming and they're all pretty decent DPS. So yeah, just having tons of meat shields ensures you won't get pushed up on and your hacker or whatever won't die. And to make life less boring, bring the speed up with you, because this is going to take a while to stack and then to complete. And also bring a CPU if you want to. That will auto-deploy all your cats when you need to. The only thing about the CPU is, if you have a Bahamut not deployed, do not turn on the CPU, because the CPU will just deploy Bahamut instantly. So yeah, wait until you deploy him, and until then don't use it.